beauties new and old, it's me, JoJo. If you're on TikTok, it's very possible you've already seen this video. I'm trying to smack cam! Or one of the videos duetting it. Out of all of my videos, I definitely did not expect this one to get any attention. Didn't expect it to go viral. And I certainly didn't expect to get such a negative response. As a plus-sized woman, I am well aware of the stigma surrounding people with my body type. I'm not a stranger to hate comments and bullying, but the sheer amount of people making fun of me did really surprise me. And I would like to say really quickly, I am so thankful for all of the lovely people who stepped in and defended me, who sent me sweet DMs or messages or comments. While the hate was overwhelming at first, since then, there's definitely much more good that has come from this, and I appreciate all of you and your positivity more than I can say. That being said, I would like to use this opportunity to open up a discussion about fat phobia and fat shaming and body positivity in general. First things first, a lot of people were genuinely confused as to how the trend was fat shaming. And that's a totally valid question. In my personal opinion, any jokes that are appearance-based are shaming people who actually look like that. I got lots of comments saying I'm fat and I think it's funny, and you're entitled to your opinion, absolutely. It doesn't personally offend me. It's not that I look at it and I say, oh my god, these people are making fun of me and my community. But rather, it's like, let's take a look at how these people aren't being intentionally harmful, but it makes a bigger statement about our society and how we make fat people the butt of a joke. I don't want to speak for any other community, so I will be talking about ableism as well in this video because I am a disabled person. I would be saying the exact same thing if people were making memes of themselves in wheelchairs or using crutches and it was funny to them. Not to say those are the same thing, I'm just trying to use an example. So while this trend isn't inherently malicious, it does give us a glimpse into the subconscious stigma that we have. Like, why is that funny, you know? And I'm not talking about the ones where it just like completely alters your face or makes you look older. I'm talking specifically about the ones where people made themselves look fatter. And you know what? Before I posted this video, I could have been convinced that I was wrong, that my opinion was wrong. But so many of these haters prove me right. So many people duetted it, putting the filter on me. Or saying that I already looked like the filter. People would say, oh, you're just mad because you look like that all the time. And I think that's evidence that while the majority of people may be doing it harmlessly, there are legitimately a percentage of people who are doing it intentionally to make fun of overweight people. And so again, I'm not shaming anyone who did it, but I think that maybe we can all try and be a little more compassionate towards each other going forward and think about how we may be affecting other people with the things that we post. The second thing I want to talk about is the ableism I experienced as a result of body shaming. Now, as some of you may or may not know, I have a lot of chronic health conditions. I struggle with a disease called EGPA, and I also have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which causes a hormonal imbalance that makes it extremely difficult for me to lose weight, among other symptoms. Now, because of my EGPA, I have to take prednisone, as well as methotrexate, which is a form of chemotherapy. Prednisone especially is notorious for causing weight gain and water retention in the face, which is why if you watch some of my older videos before I started this medication about 6 months ago, you will notice that I have gained a lot of weight in my face area. And truthfully, this is something that I'm very self-conscious about. And when I tried to explain to people in my comments why that a medication was causing my face to look the way it does, people said I was making excuses or to just go to a gym. And due to my chronic pain, there are many days that I can't even walk or move. And again, this is not related to my weight, it's an autoimmune condition. But so many people kept writing off everything I said as an excuse or laziness, And this was all because they were looking at me through the lens of their own fat phobia. Now, let's talk about the word fat phobia. A lot of people were like, what the heck, I've never heard of this word. You guys are just making anything into a phobia now. Or, I hate to break it to you, but fat phobia is not real. Fat phobia and fat acceptance are not new things. I could make a whole video about the history of body positivity if you guys are interested. It was started with fat people doing protests, and it was made specifically for marginalized bodies that are discriminated against. Let me know if you guys would like a video about the history of that in the comments. And I understand the misconception that fat phobia is not a thing because it's based off of something that people can change, as opposed to, say, homophobia, where people cannot change their sexuality. And while I've already made the point about how I cannot lose weight myself due to medications and medical conditions, I believe that fat phobia is still a real thing that all fat people face regardless of whether or not they can lose weight. And this is because of genetic factors that make people more likely to be overweight due to their body type, a number of medical conditions, and also just how hard it is for people to access nutritious food. And while you may say, oh, a bag of apples is only $5, there have been times in my life where I had to make the decision between using my $5 to buy a bag of apples or 10 packs of ramen. At the end of the day, a pack of ramen is a lot more filling than an apple. But even if we push all of these circumstances aside, fatness is not something that can be removed like makeup or clothing. Losing weight is a time-consuming process, especially if you're doing it in a healthy way rather than just a fad diet, which usually leads to gaining weight back. To lose weight in a healthy manner, you can only lose 1 to 2 pounds maximum a week. So if you're fat shaming someone based off of a 15-second video, you have no idea if they are working to lose weight or not. And at the end of the day, that's none of your business either. This is why fat phobia is absolutely a real thing, even though it may be different from other forms of discrimination. I could tell so many stories of how being overweight and the stigma that surrounds it has affected me. A huge issue is the medical discrimination that overweight people face. I could tell countless stories, but for now I will just tell one. When I was 17, I started experiencing some excruciating back spasms. It absolutely felt like there was a knife lodged into the muscles in my back. It was so much pain that I would literally pass out and throw up. My parents had to take me to the ER because they thought I was having a seizure. I was in so much pain I could not move or speak. When we arrived at the hospital, the doctor simply told me that I needed to lose weight to help with my back pain. He said it was common for people who were my size to have joint pain, and they sent me on my way. Periodically, these episodes of back pain kept getting worse and worse. I went to the hospital a second time and was told the same thing, to lose weight. Finally, a few months later, I had another one of these pain episodes to the point where I could not even walk. I was wheeled to the hospital, and a kind doctor finally listened to me. They found out that my gallbladder was completely full of gallstones and not working at all. And it had gotten so bad to the point where I needed surgery as soon as possible to remove it. I had gone through months of pain and trying to lose weight over an organ that was failing me, all because doctors discriminated against my weight and refused to look for other issues to blame. Now, thankfully, my story ends well. I had this surgery and I'm doing much better now. But for many fat people, that's not the case. The last thing I want to discuss is my history with eating disorders. I've been in recovery for a few years now, but I first started dieting when I was 10 years old. I remember looking in the mirror and hating myself, thinking I couldn't eat in public because people were judging me because of my weight. And there's a common misconception that people who are overweight can't have eating disorders. But disordered eating affects people of all sizes and shapes. And while I'm grateful that I've been in recovery to the point where these comments aren't going to cause a relapse for me, I think it's so important for this reason to think before we criticize people. Even if you genuinely are concerned for my health, that's between me and my doctor, not you to tell me that I need to lose weight. For other overweight people who struggle with disordered eating, these comments could trigger them and be extremely harmful towards their recovery. Everyone deserves to feel respected and to feel safe in their body, no matter where they are at on their journey. And this is why I ask you guys to always take a moment to be kind. You never know someone's history just from looking at them, and you're not entitled to anybody's story, to anybody's body, to telling them how to live their life. And truth be told, I am not trying to lose weight right now, and that doesn't make me any less worthy of respect. While I don't owe people an explanation for that, the reason is because I am focusing more on my chronic pain issues, and right now with the chemotherapy, I don't have the energy to focus on that. And I'm also in college, so it's really hard for me to cook healthy meals all the time. Just because I'm an overweight person doesn't mean that my life should have to revolve around losing weight. I'm a human being with human interests, human feelings, and I think it's important to be kind to everyone. I hope me sharing my thoughts and my experience can help you guys come to the same conclusion. Hopefully you've learned something from this, or at the very least, I can help someone who is also going through these struggles. Remember that you are loved. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.